And Simon, I'd love to hear from you what your perspective is on how institutions are acting in a bear market, essentially.
Yeah, so many of the players that are on Canton are not speculating on crypto tokens. And so, of course, we have a beta, like everybody. When the crypto market is up, there's renewed interest. But in the recent bear market, Canton Coin actually did pretty well compared to everybody. And I'll be a little contrarian, is that when market is down, it kind of filter out the crappy projects. And I think for the whole industry, I prefer when there's quality versus quantity. So I don't mind the current environment at all, to be honest.
I'm going to pause it right there. I like what that dude, Simon, the head of strategic initiatives at Canton, just said, that these bear markets, pullbacks are here to wit out pretty much the players that, aren't here to take these things serious. So we'll go ahead and we'll start it there. Aqua, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
Feeling great, bro. I was outside getting some sunlight right before you said we were going to jump on, so I'm feeling great, bro.
Beautiful. I wanted to just share some major announcements that Canton just dropped on their Twitter profile while they're fresh. April 20th, 2026. Both of these announcements today from the Twitter, from the Canton, or the digital asset Twitter, via Canton Network announcements that go hand in hand with something that you've all just said on a podcast just a couple of days ago. And so you just heard the gentleman from Canton Network, Simon Latorte, mention that he's not worried at all about this current market downturn. He said that word for word. And now you have Yuval Ruse sitting on this Block podcast from 5 days ago. This only still has 155 views, right? Crazy. So shout out to the CYPRX researchers for sharing this one in the Discord. But listen to what Yuval here says about how investors are slowly starting to turn towards real utility. And then he goes on to talk about how they're going to be making a major announcement with an insurance agency soon. So just listen to these two clips back to back, and then we'll dive into the fundamentals that were just released.
Sensing that it's just as easily can discover a new bottom.
Yeah.
Just as easily that it could just rally, right? So to me, what I would say with much more certainty is that the world feels brittle. And as a result of that, maybe to our industry, what that means is that you're seeing investors very focused on the utility, meaning, can you actually show us a path how your network can get to a point where it can process, $1 billion of fees a year constantly? Can it actually see a trajectory to $5-10 billion of fees in something that doesn't feel like it's cyclical, right? It's not just yet another kind of like B2C phenomena that could just as easily disappear, which I actually think is very good for the industry. I actually think that it's time to flesh out white papers that are making promises.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, much more important to show actual utility, that the end beneficial customer sees returns as a result of using the technology. And that's why I called out, 90+% is using for crypto. If we are all very convinced as an industry, and I'm part of it, that stable coins solves so many problems, well, it would be nice a year from now to say that actually 30% of the use of stable coins is used for companies that have nothing to do with crypto,
mm-hmm.
right? It's just, to me, that's just a very good litmus test for us as an industry, is we keep on marketing this technology as the new rails of financial services.
So I really like what he just said about the utility actually resulting in network value to the end user. And that just goes hand in hand with some major announcements that were just recently, announced from Digital Asset themselves, which we'll go over here in just 1 second. The last clip is just where he goes on to talk about a major announcement that they're going to be making soon. And every single thing that they've talked about and discussed so far this year, Canton, has come into fruition. Eric, just a couple of podcasts ago, 2 or 3 months ago, said that you're going to start to see announcements from major financial institutions come down the pipeline on Canton Network that have been programmed in the woods for years now. And they're just going to start to come out and talk about these proof of concepts and then make major announcements. And I want to go over some of that stuff here, but listen to what Yuval says about this announcement they're going to be making soon.
It's not
It's
normal.
not normal. Yeah.
They come with the risk associated with it, right? That's no different in crypto. And I think that the more we become realistic, but actually show that, hey, as a result of being able to do that very smoothly, right, you can still shave 100 to 200 basis points, which is a lot. I think you're going to see much more adoption by the industry and really just streamlining the user experience. You're going to see more and more. I mean, we'll announce something very soon with a very big insurance company where you could take, some of your insurance assets and pledge it as collateral against a loan. Like, these things are happening, right? They are happening. I just think that we need to build it in a responsible manner and make sure that we very much focus on user experience.
It does make me
Right. So he talks about something that they're going to be announcing very soon. I'm trying to find that video breakdown, Aqua, of Eric here saying something about these announcements that they're going to be making soon.
Yeah, he definitely said what you said for sure.
Oh, here it is right here.
Crystal clear. The first one is many orders of magnitude bigger than the second.
Okay.
So it's not like, where is Canton setting up? We're setting up to be on the real world side of stuff, because it's also an enabler for the second one. If you have perfect, 24/7 creation and redemption across these things, helps you produce a higher quality permissionless wrapped asset. But it all starts with solving the liquidity problems on the real world side. So having the real assets, having the real lending markets that are deep, that have all the really large passive liquidity, having the permissionless wrapped asset. But it all starts with solving the liquidity problems on the real world side.
So I just want you guys to pay attention to that key vocabulary. He specifically said solving liquidity problems. And you know how you guys know that I'm a firm believer of XRP. I've been holding it for the longest time, but you have all these people talking about how XRP is going to solve the liquidity crisis of the Japanese yen carry trade, right? You have Eric here talking about solving liquidity problems, okay? And watch this major ass announcement that they just announced with the freaking JGBs from Japan today, as Canton as the liquidity network layer for Japanese government bonds.
That's wild.
Bro, and listen to what Eric says here. Listen.
So having the real assets, perfect, 24/7 creation and redemption across these things helps you produce a higher quality permissionless wrapped asset. But it all starts with solving the liquidity problems on the real world side. So having the real assets, having the real lending markets that are deep, that have all the really large passive liquidity, getting all of that set up, it helps build better permissionless products. So it's both, but our focus primarily and overwhelmingly by effort and go to market is on the real world side of stuff.
Yeah. And that's and how fast is that going?
It's like the 10-year overnight success sort of thing. Right now, things are going incredibly fast.
Right.
There are some names that will come to market in the next 6 months that will blow people's minds. And the scale at which they come to market will completely catch people off guard. But some of these names have been on our cap table for a decade.
Yeah.
And, we've been working through all sorts of problems with them for a very long time. So the moons have definitely aligned.
Yeah.
So the moons have definitely aligned. Okay. And what did Digital Asset just post on their X profile, April 20, 2026? Mizuho Nomura, JSCC, and Digital Asset have launched a proof of concept on Canton to explore digital collateral management usage on Japanese government bonds. The project evaluates how institutions can enable 24/7 real-time collateral workflows across systems and jurisdictions. Bro, what the y'all? Okay, these partners, guys and gals. So let's look at Mizuho Financial Group, one of the world's largest financial institutions and Japan's second largest bank by assets. Okay. Who is Nomura? Nomura Holdings is Japan's largest investment bank and major global financial services group. All right. And who is the Japanese Securities Clearing Corporation? Well, they're a massive central counterparty in Japan, clearing 8,272 trillion yen yearly. Yeah, bro. What the fuck?
That's crazy.
If people are fading Canton at this point, I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, come on. If this was announced with XRP and Ripple, people would be jumping out of their fucking skin, y'all.
Bro, 8,272 trillion. I can't even bro, 1 trillion And then we heard 400 trillion mentioned last week, and now we're seeing this now. This is.
Let's read the announcement because this is crazy work right here. And remember, this all just ties back to something that we shared with you guys weeks ago, where Eric specifically said solving liquidity problems. And you're going to see announcements come so soon and so fast that it's going to blow people out of the water. And he specifically said solving liquidity problems, right? Check this out. So all the names that I just mentioned, here you can see the announcement. Mizuho, we got Nomura Holdings, we got Japan Securities Clearing Corporation, and Digital Asset today announced the joint launch of a proof of concept to enhance collateral management by leveraging the Canton Network, the only blockchain purpose-built for institutional finance. This proof of concept focuses on Japanese government bonds, or JGBs, for which rights are transferred under the Act on Book Entry Transfer, corporate bonds, and shares. This project will verify from both legal and practical perspectives whether the transfer of rights and updates to book entry transfer records within a hierarchical structure involving multiple account management institutions can be executed seamlessly using blockchain technology. Furthermore, by integrating existing systems with the blockchain infrastructure on Canton, supported by Digital Asset, the proof of concept will evaluate the feasibility of achieving sophisticated, real-time collateral transactions 24/7 while maintaining the legal status of Japanese government bonds under the Book Entry Transfer Act and the Financial Instruments and Exchange Act. Check this out. This is where it starts to talk about liquidity. The proof of concept will also cover cross-border transactions involving domestic and international stakeholders in and outside of Japan. It will verify use cases involving the transfer of collateral among various entities, including clearinghouses, institutional investors, clients, and agents. Bro, this is so crazy.
Yeah, this is extremely massive, bro. You see the comment too from Cloud 9963. He said that 8272 trillion yen is 52 trillion in USD. So to kind of give us a better idea of really how much money this is, that's man.
Now, to finish this off, it says the proof of concept will be conducted as part of the initiative selected back in February 2026 for support under the Payment Innovation Project, or PIP, of the Financial Services Agency of Japan. And then look at this. Look at this infographic. This is freaking crazy, y'all, because if you saw a picture like this and it said XRPL or it said Ripple, right? You would have people screenshotting this, sending it all over the internet. Oh my God, XRP2. No, y'all, look at this. It says the blockchain settlement layer for all of this is Canton Network. And you see the green outline and it engulfs all of this. Transfer, construction, confirmation, indirect participants in Japan, book entry transfer codes. Like, this is nuts.
Yeah, and the fact that it's 24/7 real-time collateral settlements, it's like, dude, that's massive, bro.
Now, back to the liquidity mention. To finish this off, it says, as the use of digital assets advance rapidly in and out of the US and other markets outside of Japan, the momentum also builds in Japan, achieving digital collateral management for JGBs, which are highly regarded as eligible collateral by institutional investors, both in and outside of Japan, has become an urgent priority. We believe that maintaining and strengthening availability and liquidity of JGBs in the digital asset space is essential to the development of financial markets and the improvement of investor convenience. In this proof of concept, by combining existing infrastructure with blockchain tech for JGB management, which this blockchain tech that they're combining with JGB management is Canton Network. It says we aim to enable 24/7 real-time collateral transactions and significantly improve the efficiency of collateral management for trade, not only within Japan, but on a cross-border basis. The substantial reduction in administrative tasks related to the posting and substitution of collateral is expected to improve operational efficiency and reduce costs for both financial institutions and investors. Furthermore, by enabling JGBs, tangible assets, to be managed on a blockchain, we aim to deepen coordination with other digital assets, including digital native ones, thereby creating value through new types of financial transactions. Bro, this is literally creating a liquidity layer. And this is
yeah, bro. And it don't shut off, bro. This 24/7 once it gets turned on, bro. It don't shut off. And it's only going to continue to grow if you think about it too. If it's like live 24/7 like that and people are having a bunch of success, and it makes sense for others to start bringing in, you know,
No.
like it.
I'm not here to shill anybody Canton shit. Matter of fact, don't invest in it because you watched this video. But I know what I'm doing, and I know that I believe that Canton is going to be one of the many players in layer ones that survive long term. Because we know there's going to be many. We know it's going to be interoperable. We know it's going to be a whole bunch of different networks that run the future financial system. And you can't fade that. You can't sit here and act like Canton won't at least be up there with some of the other giants.
Yeah. Yeah. And everything that they have locked in, bro. These guys know something to be locking in stuff like this, like the DTCC locking it in. Like, I feel like, yeah, bro, these guys, they've done their homework, their due diligence. They really know where it's headed, and Canton made the most sense. So
couldn't say it enough. So then we had this other announcement. This is from today as well, because it doesn't end there, right? You'd think it ends there. It doesn't. You've all reposted this where he said, super excited to sign the partnership with Hanwha. So much to do together and will be revealed very soon. We are going to be changing some industries that are in much of need of transformation. Wish I had more time to spend in Korea, but the trip was short and sweet. And if you guys don't know who this company is, here's the announcement right here, the official announcement directly from Seoul Economy Daily. Hanwha Digital Asset Holdings signed the strategic partnership. So it says, Hanwha Investment Securities and Digital Asset signed a memorandum of understanding. A global blockchain infrastructure firm specializing in financial services, headquartered in New York, Digital Asset operators, just talking about Digital Asset, say that the two companies plan to explore cooperation opportunities across various financial areas and build strategic partnerships to respond to the digital transformation trend in the global financial market. Then the CEO of Hanwha said here, and again, this is coming from the CEO of Hanwha. He's not just some random Twitter influencer on the freaking internet, y'all. If you guys don't know who this company is, Hanwha, look at this, okay? Hanwha. They have $60+ billion in annual revenue. They are one of the top 10 conglomerates in South Korea. They have 90,000 plus employees globally, and they have operations across energy infrastructure, defense infrastructure, finance infrastructure, construction. They're pretty much in the same league in Korea as giants like Samsung and Hyundai. Okay, they're not, it's not just like some random whatever. And look what the freaking CEO is saying. He said that the Canton Network is a next-generation financial infrastructure that has been verified by major global financial institutions. Through this partnership, we will strengthen our connectivity with the global financial ecosystem and proactively respond to the change in the future financial environment. Right? So these are some major, sophisticated announcements. No hope, no hype. I'm not telling you guys tomorrow Canton's price is going to freaking skyrocket because of the backdrop that we're in right now currently via risk off. It's likely not going to, right? But this to me shows that in a bear market, when over the past 6 months, the total crypto market has lost over $2.3 trillion, Canton is for a fact building for the future when we come out of this rut. And I would not want to be on the side of an individual who is skeptical in a bear market because there's a lack of price action across all of altcoins when Canton is showing that they are putting in the work right now for when the market sentiment flips back bullish.
Yeah, bro. And the fact that you have these institutions, it says that they verified this financial instrument, like, bro, that's major, bro.
So I wanted to hop on real quick, deliver this breaking news to everybody today. Happy Monday. I hope that everybody has a phenomenal week. Aqua, as always, brother, thank you for tapping in with us. Blessings to you guys. Be cognizant, be aware out there. Remember, none of this is financial advice. As always, bring you guys the juice, showing you guys research when it matters most. We appreciate the love and support, and we'll see you guys on Friday.